Good day, lords and ladies. Welcome back to Citizen Sleeper. We're going to rest up. We're getting now one of our Percy has 20% discount, which is always lovely, so we're going to throw a little bit of money at the cat. Feet straight. End the cycle. Yeah, our condition isn't great. We've got a couple of options, but we do have that discount, so I think we have a couple of ways of getting energy back. The job up on here is taking another cycle before it ticks over, so let's jump across the pond and go to, I believe it's here, which will give us some, yeah. Do this. Natural success. So we get all our energy back. We don't get anything stolen. I was hoping we'd get some supply, but alas no. Okay. So we're going to re-roll. Not the greatest roll in the world, I'm not going to lie. But it will allow us to go into here and get some more things unlocked. Yeah. Sunlight Refuge. That's just for the wrong one. Might have been the wrong one. Oh yeah, it was. Ah. My mistake. Let's get that up. Yeesh. 50-50 chance. Okay, that hasn't gone to plan at all. So. That's my mistake right there. Okay, so we do need to basically now get some food in us, which is problematic. Probably our best bet then is... Where are they? These guys here. Only 2 energy? Oh man. Not worth it. Okay. I'm gonna have to. I should have. Yeah. In hindsight, folks. In hindsight, I should have really. I should have really put those things into the data mining. Ah, got greedy. Not great. Okay, let's end the cycle again. That's much better. Sleeper, Moritz is waiting for you on your way up. How you been? Surviving, you say? Moritz nods. That's the struggle. He glances around. He runs his hand through his hair. I've been meaning to ask you, Sleeper, what's it like? He pauses suddenly on, so I mean, you know, what does it feel like to be a sleeper? Yeah, he shrugs, if you don't mind. It's strange, you say. Yeah, I know I can't understand it, you know, with your frame and, well, everything else, but I wanted to say I have a lot of sympathy for it. Like having to find a place, having to survive, having no future, he looks down. Lots of people around here understand that. Moritz looks away, and you notice him for the first time, not just as Blitz's assistant, but as someone with his own worries, their own struggles, their own life. You feel bad for not noticing earlier. Moritz looks back at you. Anyway, got a message for you. Bliss sent me down. Bliss sent me down. We scored another contract and she needs your help. That's the message. He pauses. Look, I know last time the payment didn't come through, but you did good work. Bliss knows that. It's no problem, you say. Okay then, he pauses again. She's doing her best, you know. I know, you reply evenly. He nods. See you up there. Moritz turns and strides off, leaving you in the corridor. Time to help Bliss. And maybe this time you think to yourself it will work out. Okay. Up we go. So. Sacrifice sections. Critical action. We're saving the crop. Yeah, we can do that without too much issue. So let's get that online. Oh, we can only do that once. Yeah, so basically just save, sacrifice a section, but no more sections to sacrifice. Well, not unless you want to lose the entire crop. And okay, so let's get this done then. Got a tiny bit of scrap. But that's all we can do right now. Let's descend. Back at my house, I'm going to throw a little bit of scrap in. And get our condition up a little bit, just to tide us over. I will throw a little bit of money at the cat. And then I will hit up the inn, drop a little bit of rations, get that covered, and then we'll go to sleep again. Not a bad dice roll, I've had better, but this should manage to score us at least some things. Right, let's just send. With this we should be able to get this filled. There we go. You and Bliss are floating in the bay airlock, waiting for it to cycle. You pick a few leaves from your clothes as you wait. They float around the chamber as if carried by a lazy wind. Clean work, you say. Bliss bows a little. Oh, thank you, Sleeper. You don't do so bad yourselves. He checks her tool belt. Seems like we're getting into a good rhythm. The now familiar sequence of clunks and rattles sound out, and then the door hisses open. The moment it does, you know something has once again gone wrong. What's all this? Bliss asks a confused looking Maurice. Beside him are a set of crates, anchored to the bay. He has clearly just brought them in through the bay's freight lock. Maurice looks nervously between the two of you before answering. It's payment. He runs a hand along the crates. The Sacramo Seed crew just brought them over. He stops.
Bury the excess costs of airport parking.
Excuse me a second. Sorry about that, folks. Maurice looks nervous between the two of you before answering. It's payment. He runs a hand along the crate. The Sacramo Seed crew just brought them over. He stops, but looks, seeing the look on Bliss's face, adds, they were very thankful. I bet they were. She clenches her fists. What the hell is inside? Maurice leans over and struggles with the cats on each side of the top crate. As he does, Bliss turns to you. Don't say it, Bliss says, stares into space. Don't you dare say it. Stay silent. Don't, she gives you a hard look. This isn't my fault. Moritz finally gets the cat. The cat is free, and the lid floats off, drifting up into the bay. As it does, a small brown lump floats up with it. Moritz reaches out and catches it as it passes by. It's a mushroom. Bliss finishes. A damn mushroom. They paid us in mushrooms, you say? Not just mushrooms. He holds out a lump of tightly packed leaves. Produce. Bliss starts laughing. Goddamn, Hafen, commune. Should have known they didn't have a chit to rub between them, so he knocks a small brown mushroom across the bay. Stop, Bliss. Maurice grabs her hand. These are good, fresh. We'll sell them. To who, Moritz? Are we running a groceries now? We need cryo, otherwise this whole bay will be sucked down. We can't pay for parts with leafy greens. She waggles them in Maurice's face. Moritz is right, you say. Bliss raises an eyebrow. Fine, maybe Moritz is right. But what do we do between now and the market day? She rubs her forehead. What a joke this place is turning out to be. Moritz closes up the crate and starts moving them. This isn't that bad, Bliss. It's a step in the right direction. He glances at you, looking for backup. They'll sell well, you say. Bliss sighs. Looks like I went into business with a couple of wannabe farmers. She laughs. Prove me wrong, then. Show me this is a windfall. She kicks away towards the new patched together terminal. Until then, I'll be working on how to keep this place open. Moritz mouths a thank you and goes back to moving the crate. You better be on your way too. Oh, so we got some gullop cap. That's good. And that's ticking over, and that will be another 4 cycles before that comes back online. So we can go here, and we can use the gallop cap to basically get its energy. If I remember correctly, yeah, if we go here, Emphas mentioned an old recipe for, oh, that's Musaki. All he needs, okay, he needs Musaki. Okay, that's going to be harder to get. So we need to basically get our energy topped up. We also need to be making credit, unfortunately, before anything else. So what I can do is clearing the growing area. That's probably going to be actually something useful to us, and I want to see what it does. So let's refresh. Oh, more nap blinking ones. Okay, I'm not going to mess around with these then. I know exactly what we're doing. I do need the money anyway. And we still have plenty of Yataghan things that we can bypass here. It's not the best solution because it feels like I'm messing with Yataghan, but I need the money. They want Havanage. Okay. We get a little bit of cryo for this. And also, more than anything else, if we actually need to get our parts back up, we can. Okay. Because they don't know if this will last forever, because they have only limited supplies, I believe. And I better... Is he still locked up? Yeah, they're out of action, so I will have to go to Yataghan and get... That's not a bad discount. It's not great for us because basically it uses a lot of our money, so we are going to have to be throwing work in. But well, we are going to have to be doing work. So let's start this, take the pill so we're all back up to max. End the cycle. That's not bad for what we want to do. Let's jump over. I have enough stored funds that it's not going to be a massive issue straight away. I want to try and get this done. I'd really like to see what this does. If it allows us to grow on mushrooms, then we can just keep selling the mushrooms and making profit. Okay. The aviary. Yeah. The old growth on the aviary has created a rich medium for which you can place spores from the grows. They'll grow well here. So basically, if we plant spores, it will basically grow mushrooms for us, which is, I suppose, something we can use to get energy back. Okay. Not the best thing in the world, but this allows us to collect spores. Okay, let's see what we can get. Okay, so we got some more. Get the fungal beds online. Just need to one more. Okay. I suspect once we get this online, we'll have a ready supply of mushrooms. Yeah. Fungal growth takes 4 turns and then that comes online. Okay. That's not so bad. He wants export Matsuki. We got just Gala caps. We can't do anything with that. And we're actually a little bit low on money. Is he actually? This guy's actually in dock now. Yeah. I might go and hit these guys up for work. Right. Let's rest. That's a really good hand. Okay. Actually, what I want to do, now that I think about it, probably the best one to get energy back and to make a bit of profit at these guys, because what we can do is we can throw some dice into here. So we get paid a bit, our energy goes back, but there's also a chance, I believe, getting scrap, which is useful for us if we want to basically... And actually, it's not that useful to us now that I think about it. Because it's cheaper now to get the full recharge than it is to do stuff. So, let's get some spores. And she wants 2 more sets of spores. Okay. Rico. Sleeper, Rico greets you without so much as a look up from her work. I have some of yours here, come see. She beckons you over to a heavyweight looking console, wired to a series of specimen jars, some of which contain your spores. Where did you get this, you say? This you would believe, she smiles, was a Solheim console built to analyze nutrient content of the Greenway crop. Haifa have been using these for decades now, although sometimes they need a little tender care. You look at the machine patched with like patch with whole offcuts, the gap between which reveals a tangled nest of wires. If you're honest, it looks like it has received a lot of care. The spores you have here are a real cocktail, a selection of types from within the groves, but I've been able to isolate a few. She taps one of the specimen jars. Here we have Teklo Teach Oloma Matsutike. Rico breezes through the Latin and Japanese pronunciations as if they were nothing. A species Solheim somewhat modified for use on the station. She brings up a panel on her console and shows a chemical composition, all gradient bars and obtuse acronyms. This is the composite for Solheim modified Matsutake spores. Modified? Yes. Every species on the eye is a tweaked variant of Solheim's, of course, but that's not the point. Rico brings up another panel, identical to the layout, but within widely different colours and numbers. You see, this is what your Matsutake spores look like. They aren't the same, you say? That's the conclusion, yes. Rico glances at the specimen jar as if it might have something to add. They are fundamentally the same spores, but they carry different chemicals, different signals. She leans back and sighs. Solheim may have introduced their own tweaked versions in the beginning, but the groves have and still are affecting them. Affecting them how, you say? It's hard to tell without samples of fully grown mushrooms. You meet your eye, and here lies our problem. She moves to another desk where two trays sit side by side. First contains nothing but plant malts. The second you smell before you smell even looking at it. The pungent aroma of fruiting Matsutake, like rotting sodden overalls laced with an edge of spice. The Matsutake here are grown from Solheim stock, pulled from a small vault in this complex. She winks. They are delicacies, by the way. She sets them aside. The empty tray is germinated from the spores you collected. No activity, no germination, nothing. But the groves are full, you say? Yes, they are. Rico looks at you directly, and you suddenly realise how much she is enjoying this. So here is your puzzle, Sleeper. Spores from the groves won't grow in the lab, but gathering fruiting bodies from the groves is too unpredictable. We need to grow a fruiting body from some of these spores, so we can track it, understand it. In short, I need you to become a mushroom farmer. Actually, I've already started, you said. Rico looks impressed. Well, an eager mycologist. I never have guessed. I assume you set yourself up in the aviary. I've been eyeing that place up for its proximity to the groves. Bring me whatever grows, not just Matsutake. There's more than a couple of variants in there, so I need plenty of samples. He plucks a Matsutake cap from the tray. These little things are reflections of their conditions, their smell, their taste, their chemistry. It all derives from the conditions of their growth. He smells the cap. Enough of these and we'll have a picture of what is happening here, of the ways in which this biosphere is modifying itself or being modified, whichever the case may be. Rico pops the Matsutake cap into her mouth, taking you by surprise. And don't worry, Sleep, she says, while softly chewing. If this turns out to be a dead end, I'll make sure that not a single mushroom will go to waste. So what does he need? Okay, so he needs one of those. Okay. So let's just feed it the matter into the machine. Okay. That will help us along. Okay. So we can do a bit of work here. Earn ourselves a bit of extra bang for our buck. And down here we can go to the wastes and get us some scrap. Which is fine, because all I really need it for is, at this stage, just to throw it in. And just keeping our bar topped up. Okay. That's ticking over. It's going to be a while before we can do anything here, so we should go back to the house. End the cycle. That is not a good dice roll. Okay. Well, first of all, there's not a lot we can do because everything else, relatively speaking, are ticking over. Let's go and do these keynotes. Yeah, that's going to wake him up, which is not great, because the moment he comes online, he's going to be pissed. So let's extract the data and expect to have a nasty feedback. Yeah. What's the last one we need? That will bypass, yeah. Let's get that unlocked. So he's absolutely furious. So that's got that one. Let's just throw the next key in here. And the next branch is here. Okay. Killer is dead. Catching a killer. Okay, with access to the branch, you could redirect them to form a loop, isolating the mainframe with killer inside, but freeing navigator. In theory, forget hacking the system. Killer has to die. If you can slice through the branch connecting this mainframe, will shut down freeing navigator. Okay. So we can either kill him. This takes longer. Okay. My suspicion is that this one has a better outcome, because it takes longer to do. So let's do that. Let's start with that process. Okay. That's almost done. Right, he's about to ship off. Okay, I will grab some scrap. Just to keep us ticking over. I will grab a little bit of food. We'll go back to the house. Use scrap to keep ourselves going. Throw a bit of money at the cat. Okay. And then we're going to go to sleep. Not great. Sleeper. Moritz is leaning against the corridor wall. It's time. He looks away. Big job just came in. Grand finale. You up for it? I'm ready, you say. Alright then. We are in business. He pauses, pushes away from the wall. This is how it works, Sleeper. This is how it works, Sleeper. It has to. He looks down. If it doesn't... Are we in trouble? The bay, you mean? He shrugs. We were already in trouble before you got here. The work so far hasn't been enough. Look, Bliss has had it rough. Has had a rough time of it. I thought you of all people would understand that. He runs a hand through his hair. Sorry, don't mean to be. He smiles. Bliss is a good one. She gave me a chance. I owe her. He straightens up. I know you have your own things going on, Sleeper. We all do. But the bay needs someone. Bliss needs someone. Hell, I need someone to help me keep Bliss from spinning out completely. He scratches the side of his head. Otherwise, there's not much I can do. He shakes his head. And I would hate not to pay back my debts. Moritz scratches. I've got to get back. He nods and walks away. I'm out. See you up there. Okay. Right, so we need to get up here. So this is time sensitive. Okay. Rigged and ready. Patching the solar sails. An exhausting task of patching solar sails means maintaining a laser focus for periods of time, and time is something you don't have. Okay. So we need to basically get this done as quickly as possible. The spurs need resetting and the system rebooting, but if you're careful, you can safely untangle some of the sails when they're up. Okay, so we need to basically get this. This is the thing that will help us get going, because we do not have a lot of time on this one. Man, we really don't. Okay, they weren't joking. Okay. Okay, this is dangerous to our energy levels. Yeah, okay. So we really need to get all hands on deck for this one. Right. Let's throw some money to get some food up. Man, we're getting low on cash. Okay. We do have some backup bits, but I'm holding out the hope that we don't need to sell them just yet. Oh, I should have used this outstanding dice to get data. That is a good hand. We can work with that. We can work with that right off the bat. Okay. Okay. That's better than nothing. Yes, there we go. The atmosphere in the airlock is euphoric. You and Bliss keep grinning at each other like idiots. Exhausted, blinded, sore, and aching idiots. Sleeper, that was incredible. She punches you on the arm. I never thought we were going to make it. Those idiots tangled the whole thing up like nothing I'd ever seen. You make a good team, you say. Bliss smiles a winning smile. As the lock's inner door clunks open, Moritz gives a rare whoop. He looks exhausted too, and for good reason. Moritz has been the one ferrying tools and parts back and forth from the ship. His tired smile tells you he's glad it's done. Sleeper, Bliss. He shakes his head. Impressive. When I saw that ship come in, I thought there was no way. Why, thank you, Moritz, she winks, for believing in us. Moritz rolls his eyes. You know, You know what I mean. Take the compliment. He sold us some of the gear that came back in with you and Bliss heads with. He sold us some of the gear that came back in with you and Blizz and heads to the rack to stow it. Blitz turns to you. I think you should be the one to do the honours. He nods to the ragged-looking console with Moritz assembled. I don't want to jinx it. She smiles, as you can see she is genuinely nervous. Don't worry. I stopped worrying when the chits are in my hands and I gave them to a gimbal bartender. You glide over to the console and check the screen. It takes a second to see what you are doing through the flickering, crackling display, but after a moment you see the accounts. And there it is, almost 1,000 cryo set in the bay's transfer account. Well, Bliss calls. Have we been screwed again? It's fair, you say. Bliss kicks off from the floor and spins up into the bay, shouting as she does. The noise takes Moritz by surprise, and he knocks a rack of parts, scattering handfuls of metal fixings across the bay. The sight is something glinting steel, catching the working lights like glitter. Sorry, says Bliss, grinning, when she comes back down. I needed that. She kicks off and joins you at the terminal. Moritz even managed to sell that produce. We made a tidy profit, eventually, she laughs. Here, she loads a stack of blank chits into your terminal and transfers a chunk of the cryo to them. This is your cut. She hands you the chits. Thank you for believing in this place. She looks away and smiling, even though I couldn't. When you first met me, I was on the edge of giving up. All it would have taken was one more push, you know. Now this place is sparkling again. Work is coming in. There are funds in the accounts. Even Moritz has a spring in his step. You both look over at him, happily racking up tools. That's because of you. She punches you on the arm. He likes you. He's a good kid. He isn't bad, is he? She leans closer. You know he came here looking to rob the place? I gave him a job instead, she laughs. Don't tell him I told you that. I just thought it might help you understand the kid. Moritz turns to look at you, and both Bliss and you awkwardly wave. Maybe it's time to change the subject. What now? From here on out, it's going to be a lot easier. I'm going to look for some component contracts, stuff that will keep us inside the bay, not out in the black. No need to risk necks if we don't need to. You want to cash out? That's fine, but there will always be work for you here when you need it. I'll be back, you say. She smiles and then out of nowhere quickly gives you a hug. She steps back and glances around reflexively. Take care, she says. You too. You turn to leave, and Sleeper? Yes. She smiles. Don't spend that all at once. So we got an upgrade point. Not a lot we can do with a single upgrade point, to be honest. But we are relatively flash with cash. So get that back up, and we are going to basically put a cut in here, folks. I've been Cornish-knight, this is and Sleeper. Next we'll try and get the AI situation sorted out. Has that already grown? Oh, we have to harvest them. Oh man. Okay. Okay. So yeah, let's quickly bed down for the night. Not a great hand. Let's refresh. Much better. And we're going into the next chapter with a really strong hand. And I shall see you all again next time. Please like and subscribe, so it helped me a lot. Goodbye.